I know it's not Monday, but as I'm trying to find my groove with this regular series, I'm also trying to find a balance of being topical, plus I wanted to talk about this film, and with Avengers and the rest of summer on the horizon, this is not going to happen unless I do it now. So, new episodes every Monday, and once every so often I'll try and get one out on a Friday. Okay? Cool.
I'm June. I invented Wonderland when I was little.
Why make a porcupine the safety officer? Duck and cover! Duck and cover! Seems I have backed into the middle of something. Backing out? Beep, beep, beep.
Isn't it kind of fascinating how the traumatization of childhood has almost become its own type of subgenre? From My Neighbor Totoro, A Monster Calls, Inside Out and more, I appreciate films trying to find ways to explain to children about how to cope with what life is going to throw at them, and in an age where the whole fabric of society seems to be on the brink of decay, kids may need that lesson taught to them now more than ever. However, in order to do that type of story, it requires an insane amount of precision, an almost surgeon-like tact, because if you mix the metaphors incorrectly or adapt allegories clumsily, then you could fall flat on your face, and it looks like that's what's happened with Wonder Park, which is like the aforementioned examples but with a dash of Tomorrowland thrown in there. Wonder Park, courtesy of director Sir not appearing in this film, tells the story of June, a young girl who, along with her mother, have constructed an elaborate imaginary theme park called Wonderland. And no, you did not mishear me, the film is called Wonder Park, but the park in the movie is called Wonderland. When June's mum goes away to seek medical treatment for a sudden illness, June finds it difficult to cope, and after escaping from summer camp, encounters the actual Wonderland along with all the creatures and staff who, in real life, take the place of her stuffed animals. But the park has fallen into disrepair due to something called the darkness, and it's up to June and her imaginary animal friends to stop the darkness and get Wonderland up and running again. Okay, on paper the premise is fine, but the killer is in the details. See, these films often use the metaphor of escaping into a fantasy world in order to escape or cope with grief, but Wonderland is already well up and running before June's mum gets ill. Instead, when her mum is taken away, June packs up Wonderland and refuses to revisit it. This results in a really clumsy metaphor about never growing up or always embracing imagination, but when the animal friends in the park find out that June packed them all away and she is the reason that the darkness has taken over their world, well, they blame June for it. Essentially, the moral of Wonder Park is that it doesn't matter what life-altering events happen to you, don't be sad or upset about it because you might hurt other people. And that is messed up. But Wonder Park isn't devoid of anything to praise, as the voice cast does okay, with Mila Kunis, Norbert Leo Butz and John Oliver on hand to lend their unique voices to the production. Also, in the UK version we have Tom Baker voicing Boomer the Bear, which is just awesome, but we also have Joe Sugg and Casper Lee voicing Gus and Cooper the Beavers, and with them it's clear from the animation that they're essentially understudies. The mouth movements and the vocal performances just don't match up, and it's really distracting. But the character designs are shockingly generic, mainly because Wonder Park is a feature-length pilot for an upcoming TV series, and with that in mind, the strangely episodic nature and the oddly elaborate and complicated rules about how Wonderland works starts to make sense. There's zero connective tissue taking the viewer from one elaborate and dazzling set piece to another, and despite the film's script aiming high with its subject matter, seems almost afraid to slow down for too long, even though the film doesn't even clock in at 90 minutes, so I've no idea why they're rushing everything. But then again, there's a bunch of supporting characters who don't really play any sort of role, who I'm sure are mainly here so they're established for the TV series. I've no idea why they bothered with the camp subplot. Why not just have June run away from home or something? Like I said, the setup is way too complicated. And I would have liked to have seen way more of the chimpan zombie villains, as they were surprisingly a lot of fun. I've seen a lot worse, and thankfully the messaging and metaphors are so muddled that I don't think this is the type of film that will scar kids with its unintentional messaging. Plus, I don't think the filmmakers went into Wonder Park with any sort of bad intentions, but the film's an interesting case study in how not to apply certain genre tropes. Though I did have a couple of laughs, some of the set pieces are genuinely really inventive, and Tom Baker voices a giant blue bear which rides a roller coaster, so I guess I'm duty bound to give this thing some credit, in the form of 2 stars out of 5.
I want to be down! No! Oh!
You guys did block the wheels, right?
Oh, that's what this is for.
Oops. Shoot! No! Oh!
Trilbee.